Hey, 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 hey. This is HQ in the house, and this is Wife Code with HQ, right? So, my whole thing is this: we're not doing what we're doing this morning. Hold on, you guys got me set up, and then I did something I wasn't supposed to do, but we are here to do the Wife Club thing, the Wife Code thing, right? So, this morning, the Wife Code is women and their choices. Women and their choices. This is the subject of Wife Code today, right? What is the number one reason why a woman feels disrespected? She feels disrespected because her choices are oftentimes taken away, right? Her ability to choose. Her ability to choose is the core way in which she feels disrespected. It undermines her autonomy, which is fundamental to her dignity and her pride and her trust in any kind of relationship, right? So, when we mean autonomy for a woman, her choices, she needs this autonomy for the same fundamental reason that anybody else does, right? To live a life, dignity, pride, resources, self determination. She needs that autonomy because of those things. Specific reasons. I think it's a human right, or it is a right of any woman to have autonomy. Just like men, I guess, they deserve control over their body, their life, their finances, their resources, their choices. So does a woman deserve that same right over her body, her choices, her life. And because when a woman doesn't have those choices, she is a second class citizen. She's considered, or ideally or unidealistically, she would be considered a second class citizen. I mean, she deserves to participate in society just like a man does, as an equal citizen. I've heard people say, oh, okay, take away the right to vote and take away the right to have children or not have children, blah, blah, blah. Nothing pisses a woman off more than to take that kind of choice away from her. It also, when she has autonomy, it means she is free from being exploited and abused. When you don't have autonomy, when you have control over your choices, your lives, your bodies, women are more vulnerable to being controlled, to being manipulated, to being abused, to being exploited. Whether that's in a family and not necessarily a relationship, whether in a family, in the workplace, institutions, schools, you name it. She's subject to be taken advantage of if she doesn't have the choices. Having autonomy over her body. This is one of the major ones, right? A woman has to have autonomy over her body so she can make informed decisions about what she wants to do healthcare wise, whether she wants to have children, whether she wants to not have children. This, when she has this autonomy, it reduces her having unwanted pregnancies, her ability to have abortions if she wants to, untreated medical conditions. There's all kinds of reasons why she should have autonomy over her body. And I hear a lot of people, you stop getting caught up with the abortion issue. Stop getting caught up with that. You don't give people control over your body, because then if they have control over your body, then they can tell you when to go eat, do all of those things. You don't give people autonomy over your body. You don't give people control over your body. And that includes your reproductive rights. I don't want to hear the garbage about she just want to have an abortion. Not all of us have an abortion. Not all of us have an abortion. Had an abortion. Not all of us want to have an abortion. That's not has nothing to do with it. When you take the choice away, that means you're controlling me. And women are just as capable of making choices and life decisions as men are. So nobody should have control over her body. Okay, I fundamentally believe that. Having having careers, having children, and being financially independent should be well within a woman's rights to do that. When you take those choices away, she cannot go to school, she cannot have a career, she cannot have money, she can't have a bank account, she can't have. You have to go back to the 1940s and 50s when a woman couldn't even have a bank account. She couldn't even have a job if somebody told her to. These are choices that were taken away. These are choices that we just began to see when I was a teenager. Just begin to see when I was a teenager. Us having that kind of control leads to better outcomes for families, relationships, communications. Communities. Nobody should be able to tell you how and when to spend money, use money, do any of those kind of things, specifically if you make that money on your own. Okay. Women are also, when they're given a choice, give pushback about certain things that they hear. I was on a panel last night and we kept hearing men say it was all the woman's fault. Majority of the thing, every time you turn around, oh, the men are better than the women. The men are better. And see, that's all I hear. When I get on a panel of men and I hear them say, oh, well, men are better caretakers or men are better partners. Then if men are better at it, then why aren't we better at it in society? Why aren't we having better results? If we let you take control, then why and you take the control away from the woman, why aren't we having better results? So therefore, you can't possibly be the best outcome, the best judgment. And we don't have any say in that. So women have to push back on these goofy talking points, these goofy norms, these goofy society tropes or things like that. Yeah, I'm not saying any of it is wrong or right. I'm saying you have to have input from females in order for some of this stuff to go right, to go correct. Okay? And if you don't, and you don't want to, this is wild. A woman should have autonomy, or autonomy related to a woman is to make sure that she's in a position to be a better parent, a better mate, a better mother, a secure parent, a better mate. When you take those choices away from a woman, she's already considered a second-class citizen. She's already second. It's difficult. It's difficult knowing that you're in second place in this world. I don't know whether it's in the world or country or whatever, but it feels like we're in second place as women. Okay. So when you take a woman's choice away, it hits at the core core of her, and that is the number one disrespect that we see with women these days. Okay. Because it takes away, if you take away all of my choices, then it's like I'm just an object and I don't have any say in any of these things. And this is how women become unhappy in these relationships, is because you fundamentally strip her of certain things, like making decisions on her own, making decisions about her without her input, making major life decisions about where we're going to move, how we're going to do this, how we're going to do that. And then you take that decision away from her. Okay. Making the determination that she's This is her role, and you don't have any discussion about it. Like when a man walks into a room or somebody walks into the room and say, "Oh, that's the woman's role. She cooks, clean. That's all she does." I get pissed off when people say that, because that's not all that's not all that I am, and that's not all that I'm worth. It's just a person who cooks, cleans, and takes care of children. Okay? It's when you assign those roles to a woman and don't think anything of the man doing any of that. No, that's all I got to do is go to work. That's all I got to do is go to work. I don't have to do nothing else but go to work. You undermine her, or you disrespect her in that way, as though she doesn't have any kind of, as though she's not good or fit for anything else. And that's disrespectful. Okay? You have to involve her in those decisions. You have to involve her in those choices. How do you feel about that? What would work best for us? How can we change this dynamic? These are all the things that need to be addressed in making a woman feel like she's more along the same line. And I hear men say, "Oh wow, this is women's role and this is men's role." Men and women's role being as solid as they are, both parties are unhappy. Morning. Both parties are unhappy. So if both parties are unhappy, and we're having deletion records here and there skyrocketing, then something is wrong. These roles that we have assigned to each other are not working. Okay? When you dismiss a woman's opinions and her feelings, like she's crazy, she's overreacting, you're emotional, I'm logical. This is dismissive of a woman's feelings, thoughts, actions, idea. It basically means you ignore her opinion, you ignore her needs and her boundaries and her wants and her desires. Sometimes she don't want to be fixed. She just want to be listened to about how she feels. The words "I hear you" and continue to talk goes a long way. Okay? And a lot of people do that thinking they're protecting, but they're not protecting. They're minimizing and making the person feel small. Okay? Making the woman feel small. And she does. When you control her behavior or try to control her behavior and call it protection, this is a good one. When you try to dictate what she wears, where she goes, who she talks to, when and how, that's taking the choice away from a woman, and no woman wants that choice taken away from her. A lot of men disguise it as protection, track her movements, tell her when and how she can go. Nobody should be in that kind of relationship. Nobody should be in that kind of relationship. The whole point of getting together and having the partner is that you're trusting your partner and you're supporting that partner. You're supporting their independence. You're supporting their autonomy. The whole point is you're assuming that you're assuming she wants that kind of protection or input. Ask her if she wants that kind of protection or input. Don't assume it. Just because you're a man, don't assume that she needs nor wants that protection. Because when you take it away from her, you make a choice, and that makes a woman unhappy when you're making choices for her. Withholding any kind of information, keeping secrets. I can't tell her everything. I can't do this, that, and the third. And I heard a lot of men say that. Okay. I only tell her what she needs to know. She doesn't need to know all of these things. Woman wants to know these things. She wants you to practice full transparency, especially on important matters that concern her. Because if the roles were reversed, you'd want to know about all these things that need to occur in a relationship. You'd want to know about anything that might happen, could happen, what you're doing, when you're doing it, that kind of thing. And a lot of people do that in relationships, keep a lot of things back, right? Another way in which you disrespect a woman is that you speak for her. If y'all remember last night on the panel, I kept telling the wash guy, stop speaking for me, stop speaking for me, stop speaking for women, stop speaking for women. When men speak for women, you disrespect me because you say things you think I would have said. Because men say, "Oh, all women want to deal with all women like bad boy men." No, that's not true. I don't know why you keep saying certain things like that. That's not how that goes. Ask a woman. Don't come flat out and say directly. Ask a woman. And we're not talking about mammies, because there's a lot of mammies out there. Women who say things that men want to hear, or women who say things that it only aligns with a man. No, I'm talking about a female autonomy. Female autonomy. Don't tell me how you think a man would hear it. Don't tell me how you think other people would hear it. You tell me what your gut feeling as a woman says. Okay? And not through the lens of a man. If we don't understand nothing else on this planet, you have to have your own lens. It cannot always be colored through a man's vision. A man's vision is a man's vision. A woman's vision is a woman's vision. You have to, he disrespects her when he answers questions meant for her, by her, telling her story, telling what she thinks, correcting her in public about her thought pattern. Don't nothing piss me off more. Ask me. What do I think? No, I ain't never heard no woman say that shit. I don't know where you get that shit. Well, a lot of women know, not a lot of women. Don't put a lot of women's thoughts on me. Ask me what I think. Allow me to speak and say what I think. Okay. And a lot of people disrespect women by expecting them to make sacrifices in relationships, and then they don't have to make those sacrifices. A lot of men say, "Oh, it's a sacrifice for me to be faithful. It's a sacrifice for me to do that. It's a sacrifice for me to leave other women alone." The whole point is the reciprocity has to be there. Reciprocity to that kind of thing has to be there. Expecting me to follow your dreams and then telling me to go fly with mine. Oh, I don't care about her money. I don't care. I don't care. Assuming your time is more important than my time. Assuming your life is more important than mine. The whole point is you have to create spaces for her dreams to flourish and for her dreams to grow, just like your dreams to flourish and your dreams to grow. That's how you keep. I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to give you a blueprint as to how to keep women, not to piss women off, not to make women angry, not to have her mad in the relationship, to not make assumptions about that. And another way to try to disrespect a woman is say, "Oh, you so emotional, I'm logical," meaning logic is the most important thing. That's not how that works. Because sometimes intuition is the red flags that she sometimes ignores, but she has those red flags. She has those intuitions. She just doesn't act on them. Arguing facts, trying to dismiss what she feels. She feels disrespected. And that's when men come in and say, "Oh, she's irrational, she's crazy, she's goofy, whatever," meaning you think what she feels and thinks is invalid. I hope everybody's hitting the like button here. Like button. Intuition is a even more higher form of intelligence, I think. I think it's a very thin form of intelligence that women have. It's like a spidey sense that we have. And people don't ask us more about how we feel. Oh, she feels something. Feelings ain't nothing. That's the problem. She also feels disrespected when you assume what she wants instead of asking her what she wants. Like planning things, buying things, going to places, doing things, making decisions in the family without asking her about those. Assuming her priorities and values are the same as yours when they may or may not be. That's why it's important to listen and to observe and let her define her life. Okay. And when it aligns with yours, celebrate. If it doesn't, don't get upset. Don't get threatened. As a man, don't get threatened. Don't get upset if all her values and her desires and needs don't align with yours. And a lot of people feel like, and she feels disrespected when people want her to get past it, get over it. Don't worry about it. Don't pay attention to it. Okay. If you do something to hurt this person, then you want them to get past it to demand closure or on your timeline, on your the way you want it to be. All people have to heal on their own time frame. They just have to have a road or blueprint in which to do it. Okay. The whole point is to respect somebody's emotional process. Respect the way in which they feel and do things. Specifically, men have to respect the way women heal and process information, just like we respect how you process information as a man. Okay. And I think one of the worst ones is when a person, last night they said, there's a woman that's crazy mean, a woman is crazy, or she's just being dramatic or whatever. Does that mean she's crazy? Or is she just being too sensitive? No. That doesn't necessarily mean that she's crazy or too sensitive or too this, that, and the third. It just means she's acting reasonable because of, with her standards, not necessarily your standards. It doesn't mean she's unreasonable or crazy. You have, in order to make sure you're not disrespecting her, you have to respect her boundaries, respect the way she's trying to protect herself. Not necessarily being crazy, but you got to be able to respect her way of expressing, and it's not necessarily crazy. I guess all what it boils down to might be respect. And if you want to not disrespect a woman, you want to give her autonomy over her choices, and then respect that autonomy. You have to let her write her own life. And I know that's a men that be like, no, because if she writes her own thing, she ain't gonna pick me. Then you weren't meant to be with her in the first place. If she makes her own decisions and then she doesn't choose you or put you in that in the play or the scenario or put you in her life. Respect means letting her be the writer of her own life. Not see, I don't want to be, how do I say this? I want to be the main character in my life. I don't want to be a character in yours or a minor player in yours. I want to be the main character in mine. And in order to have that's how you have autonomy of your life. You're not a minimum character. You're not one of the secondary characters. There it is. Secondary character. in somebody else's life. And I know you men out there want women to be secondary characters, but that's not how that goes if a woman actually wants to lead a fulfilling and happy life. And then they wonder why women leave. You wonder why she leaves? Because she doesn't want to be a second character, a second tier character in your life. She wants to be a main character in both of your lives. Okay. This morning, salutes for showing up to race live and standing in grace and maturity. Absolutely. It wouldn't have been anything other than that. Nothing other than that. Thank you. So I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying when I say this. Nobody wants to be a secondary character in anybody's life. They want to be their main character. And you have to allow people to be the main character in their life, which means her choices have to be respected. Her autonomy has to be respected. A man shows respect not by giving her choices he thinks are right for her, but by giving her space to make her own choices. And then men, like I said, men wonder why women leave is because of that particular thing right there. You don't make space for, you don't give her choices to make, and then she has to make those choices that you think she has to make. You have to give her space. And when I say that, remember, if you all remember what I said, when I met Fee, his umbrella was the covering. His umbrella was the covering. And he opened that umbrella up wide. So I danced, I had his covering, and I danced underneath that covering. And I went and did whatever I wanted to under his covering. He didn't close or make that umbrella so small that my choices were limited. My choices were unlimited under his covering. And that's what you have to do with a woman. When you limit her choices under your umbrella, that's when you're going to lose you're going to lose her. She has to be able to make those choices. Not because you gave her those choices, and giving her choices means your umbrella is too small. By giving her space, opening up that umbrella of your covering, she makes those choices for herself, and she's much happier making those choices for herself. And I think this is the main reason why women may leave relationships, is because people look at disrespect as, oh, okay, he did something, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't have to do anything. You just have to not give her space to be everything. And then that's why I say in marriage, you when you stifle another human being, see, first of all, human beings are supposed to know their choices in a marriage. You're supposed to know the choices in a marriage. And that's the only time and place in which you should get married, is when you know your place and your roles. Know the things that need to be done within a marriage. There's a lot of things that need to be done within a marriage, and each person can do those. Different people can do different things in marriages. That's what a marriage is about. But you have to leave room for possibility. You have to leave room for other choices that may come along, that may seem much smarter than the ones that you have under that protection, under that umbrella. Because a lot of people come in and then they say, well, you get married and you do this, this, this. I will never be happy with someone. I will never be happy with another human being that tells me what and how I can do things, because I'm an adult and I make choices for me, and I make choices that benefit you too. But you can't take those choices away, because I don't try to take choices away from the men. Women normally don't try to take choices away from men. She don't tell you, you can't go here, you can't go there, you can't talk to her, you can't do that. Most women don't. And when they do, you see how how that turns out. When a woman said, you can't talk to her, you better not be talking to her, you better not. Look how those choices, look how you doing that makes the man feel. So it's the same way with a woman. People who get married should know how to conduct themselves in a marriage. Somebody asked me something last night, something I said last night at the fatty party. At the fatty party. It was the gentleman that was on the stage in the red, and he started reading off a list of things that he says, oh, that's an undisciplined woman. That's the unruly woman. That's an undisciplined woman. And then I said to him, anything related to religion and that and with a moral code doesn't work for every person. And then someone in the chat asked me, well, what kind of moral code do you stand by or you work by or you live by? I live by the moral standard and the codes that my parents taught me, which was to be a good person and never do harm to another human being. Go through life making choices that are beneficial for all the people that are around you, and don't bring harm to another human being. So I never really needed religion to conduct my relationships. And I never really needed religion in order to be a good person. Look, when I get on Fatty channel, see Fatty be full of fuckery all the time. When Fatty is on fuckery, I'm gonna be on fuckery with him. I just am. It just, when you go over there, they be on the fuckery. So my whole thing is, look, my husband wasn't, Fee loved to cook. He loved to cook. It was just his thing. And he would get in the kitchen, he'd be like, get the fuck out. He would say that to me, get the fuck out. You ain't cooking shit, right? And he'd say that to me. And then he would end up cooking more than me because he loved to cook. I don't know why. He loved to bake. He loved to cook. He loved to do that, right? And so therefore, within my marriage, I didn't cook as much as somebody who would. So therefore, I was never excellent at it. Some people are excellent at cooks. I'm a good cook, but I'm not an excellent cook. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying when he said that, sort of some of those things resonated with me. And I was like, I consider myself a good person. I try not to hurt people. I try to be very, transparent. I try to hold myself accountable. Am I doing this right by a person? Am I treating a human being correctly? Am I giving the person just due? Because I want and I normally let people express themselves, because we have to have different thoughts and different opinions to know that ours is right. That's very important. You have to hear other points of view to know that your point of view may be correct for you. Because I believe if you only hear what you think in your mind is correct, then when you hear something different, everybody's fighting against that. That's not the way it is. No. But how do you know what you think is correct? Unless you hear that other side, unless you hear an opposing opinion. That's why I think a person like Flora is extremely important to hear. Because when she expresses her ideas, you bounce your ideas against that. And then you tailor your ideas. Oh, okay, well, maybe she made a good point. Maybe she didn't. Maybe she did. Maybe she didn't. And you hone what you think. So that's why I say dissenting conversation. I don't shut that down, because sometimes those people have thought, why do they think the way they think? I'm not saying Flora's wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm saying her thought processes are different. So, but she has to be heard, because maybe she has some validity where you don't have validity and you think you do. And I treat people how I want to be treated. I'm on here. I'm on here because, fundamentally, I am a good person. I think so. I try to do no harm. I try not to, I'm on fuckery sometimes, but I try to do no harm. And I try to navigate as best as we can. Nobody's perfect. I don't have all of the tools and all of the answers. I don't have those. I can only take, impart the thoughts that I have, and hopefully they resonate. Okay. Some of her thoughts. Flora is a very legal. Flora is a legal mind. Flora has a very legal mind. She's a legal person. I think she's going to be a lawyer. So she's very smart. Don't get that twisted. She's very smart. Um, and she may have different things. She's very smart. Okay. And her own thought processes. She's either a paralegal about to be a lawyer, or she's going to be a lawyer, one of the two. And I know she works in the justice system. That. So I mean, there's a mind, and she's very smart. So I look at her that way. Not saying, but some of her stuff is wide, and it's out there. It can be out there. I think of some things as being way out there. Yeah, you go over to her channel. She's legal. She's a paralegal or something like that. And so I try to let people have their final thoughts. So when I went over to Fatty's channel, and Fatty is always on fuckery, he's always on fuckery. So I know when I go over there, he's gonna be on fuckery. I already know. So when I go to Hamp's channel, I know I gotta be on camera. I gotta do this. I gotta do that when I go on Hamp's channel, right? And I used to be on Hamp's channel a lot, on his panel all the time. But, his panel is exhausting to be on his panel. So I can't be on that panel just exhausted. And then you have Izzy's panel, Izzy Band's panel, and then you got Sharon's panel, which I love is Sharon's panel too, and then SBC. So there's many different panels that I may go on. They just right now they're doing whatever they're doing. But and me and Fatty are we tit for tat all the time. So, and Flora doesn't have panels, so otherwise I'd be asking to go over on Flora's panel, but Flora doesn't have panels, right? So I'm just saying the autonomy, the disrespect that we have, that we may have, and how we disrespect the choices or taking the choices away from a woman is what I wanted to address and how I wanted to address it. Hopefully, we got some information out there. Hey, that was off the top of my head, the disrespect for women. That's off the top of my head. But my whole thing is this, women. You said something. Oh, here we go. Thank you, JTLman, for 549 super sticker. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. What else? Why is it so difficult for women to acquiesce to what a man wants when he is willing to love, cherish, and die for her, give her the things that she needs and wants? Because you think she needs what she needs and wants, Jay. That was one of the talking points. You just let her exist. She has to exist. You cannot mold or tell her the way she needs to behave. This is what I truly believe. Why I truly believe women leave out of relationships is because that disrespect or that dismissive. When men dismiss the way a woman is, the way she is. You cannot train a person. You cannot train a grown person to act the way you want. They have to be acting in that way when you meet them. They have to be going in that direction anyway before you get with them. Because so just take me for example. I'm not a person that goes I'm not a person that swings from side to side. I pretty much go down the road and I do my own thing. So if I had a gentleman who came in and said, "Hey, I want you to, I want to put you under my covering," I would first look at his covering. I would first look at how big his umbrella is. How big is your umbrella? Meaning, how big is your covering? Are you going to tell me what to do, how to do, when to do? Or are you going to let me fly and I'm going to continue to come back to you because I want to be under your protection? Are you going to tell me when, how, what, or or are you going to allow me to make those decisions? Are you going to take those decisions away from me and tell me I can't, I won't, I will? So when I find out whether you're going to let me do me, fly under my radar, because you wouldn't be picking me if I had my booty out on the internet. You wouldn't be picking me if I got naked all the time. You would be picking me because I didn't do those things. So therefore, I don't need you to reiterate not to do those things. Therefore, I don't need you to reiterate what what those boundaries are, because I already have those boundaries in me. See? So you would never need to talk about those things. You would never even have to mention those things, because I'm already there in my own life, right? See, when I met and married Fee, he watched me, talked to me, watched me, talked to me, whatever. However, men make those assessments. He made those assessments about me. However, he knew I wasn't a person that went to clubs. I never went to club. Whenever I went to a club, I drank milk. You have any milk behind the bar? Because I don't drink, right? So off the bat, you know what type, you sort of can figure out what type of person I am, because I don't drink, right? And I don't smoke weed, and I've never smoked any drugs. So off the bat, that tells you a lot about a person's character who has not done any of those things. Socially drinking, I get that. Weed, I get that. But I'm saying other things. You already know there's a decision that I already made. When you meet a person like me who doesn't drink, who doesn't smoke, who doesn't, already you have an idea in my mind that I'm not going to get naked, that I'm not going to be on the internet with my ass out. See what I'm saying? You already made an assessment. You already know these things about me before you even approach me. You know I'm not one of those women. Oh, okay, so let me think. Is she goofy? Is there some kind of mental deficiency? Then you come closer. Oh, okay, she normally don't wear makeup. No, I don't normally wear makeup. Never wore makeup until I was 50 years old. Right? So okay, she's not a person that normally wears makeup or blah 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 or weave or wear all that weird shit. I'll wear a wig in a minute when I have my hair done, and I'll wear a weave in a minute, but I'm just saying, a wig. So there's already assumptions that you can make about this woman. You, the person who chooses, is the person who sees this, and you make the choices based on these initial assessments of the person. So you already know going in that you can make other assumptions, right? You can make other assumptions. So just take, for example, I don't drink, and I've never drank. I've drank long time ago, and then I decided I wasn't going to drink. I think the last time I had a drink, I was 17, and then I got drunk, and I had to walk across this big gigantic parking lot when I was in college. And I made it to somebody's room, and then I threw up in somebody's room, and I decided I never was going to drink. So I never drank. So that was never my thing, right? Because I don't like the way it makes me feel. I can pretend to be drunk. Pretending to be drunk is even funnier. Anyway, so when I tell you I don't drink, you can make assumptions about that. Okay, so I know I know ain't nobody going to take advantage of her while she's drunk and grape her. I know she's probably not going to have sex with a stranger because she's drunk. So I know she's probably not going to be out in public embarrassing me with her clothes all over the place, her ass out, because she's drunk. These are assumptions that you can make if I tell you I don't drink. Okay? So I'm saying these are the things you look for. So when you run into it and you say, when you say, why is it so difficult for women to acquiesce, is because they already have a life. They already have autonomy. They already have things that they like to do, want to do. You, as the man who chooses her, you have to choose wisely with that woman. Does she drink? Does she smoke? Does she smoke weed? Smoking and drinking leads to, maybe unprotected sex. It may lead to, maybe having more body counts than that you really want her to have. See, these are things that I make assumptions about. Okay. If a man goes to the club often, or he goes out and he goes to date and he does all these things and he's dating a lot of women, I make assumptions about that. Well, if he's had that many partners, then maybe if he's had that many partners, that means I got to deal with a lot of women in my hometown, and she just slept with all of them, and maybe he likes to have sex all the time. And then, do I really want to have sex with this person all the time? Do I want to break up? These are all of the things that go through my mind when I'm choosing a partner.
Demetria Morales.
Wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. My daughter-in-law, hold on. All right, she hung up.
Demetria
Morales.
Shit.
No, hold on. All right, she'll call back. I'll call her back. But anyway, these are assumptions that I'm going to make, right? What? Yeah, I pretend to be drunk. So, I mean, these are just things that I would say to a man if he's looking for a wife. Pay attention to all those little markers. You'll know right away. You'll know right away whether you want to deal with it. How often does she go out and party? How amiable is she in her speech? How I speak right here is how I spoke to Fee. Fee never had to worry about me raising my voice because I'm not the type person. I'm not the type person I'm not gonna rah 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 rah. I be on here, I do that on here, but in real life, no, because emotion leads to all different types of outcomes in the conversation. I'm much more logical. I know if I'm angry, that's gonna make another person angry. So when I chose a mate, when I chose him, he walked into it. When I chose Fee, when he chose me, or I chose Fee, or I decided to go with Fee, right, as a husband, right? And it was pretty quick. I met him at a bar. What happened? I had just gotten out of college, right? I had just gotten out of college, and I had 2 children. Because I went away to college, I took my 2 kids to college with me. So I had school, I had classes, and I had, the baby right here while I was listening to lectures, and I was doing my writing, and I was going to school. So having children didn't stop me from going to college. I went away to college, and I got family housing in college. And I had my 2 children in college, and I found a lady to babysit my 2 children for $1 an hour, and she babysat my 2 children for that $1 an hour while I went to school for 4 hours of the day. Went and got the babies, came home, did my studying, and me and their father, we studied and we got our degree. We did all of that together. That's how I got through college with 2 kids at college. So anyway. I had just gotten home from college because their father and I had broken up. So it had been 6 months. And then I came home from college, and my girlfriend said, "Hey, HQ, you want to bartend You want to bartend on this night? You want to bartend?" Because my 2 children were 2 and 1. They were 2 and 1. You want a waitress? Because I got a waitress job for you, and I need you to work because me and my girlfriend, we need to take some money. We need to be able to get some money for something, and we need you to cover the floor, and we gonna cover the cash register and blah blah blah. So, and we need somebody on the floor that we can trust. We got you. So I was like, okay, and we're gonna kick you back some. I said, okay, cool. I don't know how to waitress. I don't know nothing about drinks, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this, right? So the first night I ever waitressed in my life, that's when I met Fee. Him and his boy came in. Him and his boy, they had their uniform on, nice uniform, haircut, clear, zip in it, just everything, right? So they sat down. And I went over there and I gave him the drink, and I gave him the wrong drinks, of course. Of course, I gave him the wrong drink. He asked for gin. I gave him vodka or something. I don't know, that white shit. You know, the white stuff, I don't know nothing about alcohol, but I gave it to the white stuff. And so that's how I met Fee. But the choices that he made, you know, he gave me his number because back then we don't have, I gave him my number or something that felt, or I don't know how whatever. But from that day forward, he would come by, he would come over. I said, I got 2 kids. I got 2 kids, right? 2 and 1 years old. He's like, I don't care about that, right? You don't care about that. They 2 and 1. He said, I got a 2-year-old. Okay. So Fee had a child. And so he decided at that particular point that 2 kids weren't going to stop him, right? 2 kids weren't going to stop him. So he kept coming around. But in the meantime, I was also vetting him because I invited him, to my parents. We had a outside picnic. I invited him to that. He interacted with, my dad. He interacted with my mother, but mostly he interacted with my dad, right? And him and my dad were friends, friends more than I talked to my dad. Over the years, he spent time with my dad more than he spent time with, I spent time with my dad. You know what I'm saying? He got to know. And so I knew, as I was looking at him and talking to him and thinking about, I was like, it's a good man. He's a good man. And I guess he figured that out about me. So he knew how I would react to things. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything. Okay, so we got those things out. She got 2 kids. Okay, fine. But it was never a matter of how many kids you got. I ain't taking nobody's kids. I ain't finna do that. Because it wasn't his place to do that. It was my place. It was my place to set everything up and set everything the way it was supposed to be. We're going to make a family over here and we don't want you to interfere. You're the father and you can see the children whenever you want to. We can make a schedule. I'll bring them down to my parents' house. You get them from my parents' house. And then, we won't have any kind of fight or discussion, anything like that. So it was not perfect, but it was what it was, right? I'd bring him down there and he'd come get him or however it went. But there was choices to be made at that beginning that he knew how I was. I said what I said. I did what I was supposed to do. I was consistent in what I presented. He was consistent in what he presented. And we moved forward in that relationship. And here we are 30 odd years later. And we probably still would be married to this day. Right? But it was never a matter of, how many body counts do you have? Never had that question. How many men have you dated? Never had that question. I never had any of those kind of questions that I hear on here. None of these things applied when I met Fee. None of these things applied. The things I hear on here, I'm like, what the hell? I don't know. I don't even know how to address that, right? Because he made assumptions and those assumptions paid off. He took the information that I presented to him. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I go to work, I take care of my children, I make sure that my house and my area is clean, I make sure that I don't do this, I don't do that, I don't disappear, I don't have a whole bunch of wild friends. He took all that information and said, yes, I can take her on. I don't have to ask her questions. I don't have to ask her these questions that we hear on here, people saying they have to ask a woman. You don't have to ask a woman those questions. You can look at her and tell. And women really don't choose. It's the man who chooses. You choose the woman that you choose. The attraction is great. But she also has to align with some of the things that you want. Does she want to align with the things that you want? Can she align with the things that you want? Just because you have good intention and you walk in the room, I want to take care of you. I want to do this, that, and the third. You also have to see, I don't think men understand that you also have to acquiesce to a certain extent. in a relationship. It can't just be the woman, because there's things about you that you may not like come through the light of day, and she may not be as comfortable with those things too. Well, the only thing he says is that I can't wear X, Y, and Z. Why would you say I can't do X, Y, and Z? Well, I'm trying to protect you. Don't protect me. Don't try to protect me. Protect me on your time. Don't protect me. Tell me I have to wear X, Y, and Z, or I can't do X, Y, and Z with protecting me. Of course, I don't want you to go out in the middle of the night. Of course, I don't want you to do this. Those are obvious things. Those should be obvious things to a woman. That should be obvious to another human being, that they don't want you to do those kind of things. But for you to explicitly say or make those decisions without my input or my say, you take her decision making processes away from her. And how is that respect? Okay, if you dismiss how she feels, what she wants, what she needs, how is that respect? Okay, or you speak for me. No, she don't want to do that. No. That's not the hook. No. So I think it's a lot of relationships die because of certain things like this, right? I mean, you and men don't sacrifice, or men don't want to sacrifice. They say they sacrifice, but do they really sacrifice? I don't know. And sometimes her crazy is really her intuition, and it might be even higher sense of what makes a woman tick, or a better alarm system. I don't know. It just depends. Relationships are so weird, so fluid. Anyway, enough about that. Jay said something. What was it? What did you say to me last night? No, you said showing up on Raquel's live and standing in grace and maturity. I mean, I did when I said it and I thought about, I didn't know why. I didn't know why what I said upset her. I mean, and I'm not really clear. I only can think she thought I didn't believe her, or I didn't accept what she said. And I did. I'm not one of those goofy people. I'm not one of those people that run around and say, oh, you're half white, so you're not black. I'm not one of those people. I believe in the one drop rule. If you say you're black, you're black. I ain't finna question it. I'm not even gonna go with none of that goofy narrative some people go with, and that's cool in your life. But what does that get you to do? What does that get you? Our social contract with this country says one drop means that you're black.
Nina Nunu.
Why are people calling me all day Saturday? Hold on. Okay, this is my kid. Anyway, yes. I mean, I'm not one of those goofy people that believe this, that, and the third. It's just wild, right? And so, if it works for you, and see, the thing is, my square. Look, my square ends and begins with me right here. This is my square. I mind my square. I don't mind nobody else's square. You can call yourself black. You can call yourself whatever you want. Whatever you tell me you are, that's what I accept. And I don't have no animosity or anything to it. It is what it is. People have a right to claim whatever they want to claim. Okay. Yeah, see, body count matters to guys with no kids. Conversion's wild. No, I was over there wilding with Fatty, because Fatty is messy and he like to do the fuckery. So that's why I was over there doing that. So I already know when you go to certain channels, you go to Wheels channel, you know it's gonna be wild. You already know you're gonna have people. You go to Chaotic Truth channel, And you know you're gonna have people up there saying the N-word, you're gonna have white people up there talking 2-point crazy, all kinds of shit. So you know when you go to certain channels, they do certain things. Okay. So I know when I go to Fetty's channel, he gonna say something that's gonna piss me off. Not piss me off, but gonna make me say something crazy too. So it is what it is. Why you always got to play that game? Why you always watching basketball? Why you got to go golfing? You know why she does it? Why they do that, Jay, is because we addressed this. We also addressed this on Fatty's channel. They said, why do women want men to participate in their activities? Yes, because when you participate in our activities or you show an interest in what we would like, that means you actually like us or want to be around us. That's what it says to us. Okay, he want to know, he want to watch, he want to hear about that too. And I've been doing it by myself. I've been watching that show by myself. I've been playing basketball by myself. I've been playing golf by myself. Now he want to do it with me. That's a sign that tells a woman that you like her or you want to be around her or you find her interesting. That's what that means. And when you do it by yourself and you don't ask me, that means you don't want to be around me. You don't want me to participate in your life. And just think about how that feels. She does all of these things with other people, but she don't want to do nothing with me. Don't that tell you she don't want you involved in her life? Wouldn't that tell you that she doesn't want you to be a part of her fun activities? And how does that relationship work if she don't want you to be a part of her fun activity? She want everybody else to be a part of her fun activities except you. She want everybody else to go golfing with her, play the video game with her, and play. And when men play video games, that's a solitary activity most of the time, and it's not involving her, which means you find it more interesting than you do her. I'm just saying that's the way it comes across, and that's the way it is. Okay, we know you said that, but I don't understand what you mean, Jay. I don't understand what you mean. I wish you could have been on the panel. It would have been great. I would have loved to understand what was going on with that. What do you mean? Something on the panel? Something happened on the panel. Cause men, don't you start that shit. Don't you start that shit. Cause men are more fun. Don't you start that shit. Y'all, stop it. Y'all will stay in a room with a mattress and a TV. That is not fun. Women, y'all got to push back on this craziness. This wild. No, we're not going to have that debate. No way. Y'all are not more fun. No, y'all not. You ain't finna pull me into that bullshit because I knew Fatty was gonna put some bullshit out there. No. What the hell? No, men are not more. They're not more fun. Well, anyway, I don't know what that is, but I think I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna do tonight. I have a show tonight. That's gonna be the show regarding Diddy and the update on Tory Lanez. Diddy and the update on Tory Lanez. We can do some crazy talking then. Hopefully we have enough people where we can just come on there and people can have their thoughts and processes spread out. But I thank y'all. I gotta go because I gotta make this other thing. I'm not here to go live, but yeah, okay. What was you talking about, Jay?
All right, hold on. I'm fresh from the gym making pancakes for breakfast right now.
Oh, so okay. I'm sorry. Clarify that one statement and then you can leave. Just clarify that one statement.
No, because you came on, you apologized. I really appreciate you and Raquel for having that dialogue with each other. Because I couldn't watch last night, but I was watching it when I was in the gym. And I was like, okay, that's what's up. That's the kind of stuff I wanted to see. But during the panel show, when we were on the panel, when a certain person was saying things about her, making huge assumptions, you sat back and let it happen, which is fine for you for being the host because it's not your responsibility to hold people accountable. You just provide the platform for them to do it. Because you did say to me, Raquel was black. Just
Yeah,
one drop. Yeah, you did say that. So I mean,
yeah, but
that's why
there
I
are
said no
some.
lies were
If
told.
you've been on panels and you've heard people say goofy shit, right?
Yeah,
And then you cannot get like Pan America. You cannot get them out of that thought process. That's
Pam,
not how that works. So
whatever,
that's so,
Mulattoconda.
yeah. So that's why I let them say it, because then you look at it and you say that's goofy as hell.
No, I'm not
And
talking about him. I'm talking about somebody
that's
else.
what I'm talking about. Tyranny. I'm talking about
Direct,
tyranny.
yeah,
When
directing
you,
that stuff towards somebody who's not even
but you can't correct that
just these
stuff
huge
towards them.
assumptions. This is like I was like that. We don't even know that you're saying those things and you have no clue because I've never heard her say that. I've
I
been
didn't
through her
either.
page.
All
I
that shit was new to me too. When
yeah,
she
so
said
it's like
something about you should never get involved with another race of people, and it's wrong. And I was like, wait a minute,
yeah,
what the fuck are we
I don't get
saying
it
here?
because it was so. I'm just like in this world where you got one person talking about mulatto power and
Right.
mulatto empowerment like it's actually a movement. Like there's like this is just massive group of joined mulatto people,
Yeah, well, look,
and
I let
Puerto
them have
Rico
that
is the mulatto
conversation.
Wakanda. And then he's saying that if you have mixed race, then you can't be pro-black. But then you got somebody who has mixed race kids and saying she's pro-black,
Right.
but she's agreeing with everything else he says, but she doesn't even address that statement.
That's
And
right.
I'm sitting there like,
Yeah, but
I'm
see,
arguing from all different directions.
I'm ill-equipped. See, here's the thing. I'm the only person that doesn't have a connection to somebody that's not black. She has mixed children. You have a wife that's not black. He's mixed. I'm ill-equipped to have the fucking conversation. I don't know what I don't know how to I don't know whether she has the right to feel that way or she doesn't, and I don't know whether he got the right to feel I don't even know how to even address some shit like that. And I hate, see, here's the thing. I don't want to step on no landmines because I don't know. I'm ill-equipped for that.
There are no landmines though, HQ. It just comes from I don't have their experiences, right? But I'm just coming, I try to come from a place of reason and logic.
Right. But
right?
see, you can't. I looked at those two people and there is no reason and logic in that. How the hell do you push back on Pan American?
That's what I'm saying. That's why that's where I can push back just based off of reason and logic. There is no mulatto movement. There's no mulatto. There's like,
and
I understand they're going to get it from either side.
Even if it was, how you what? Even if it was, I kept saying, so what are we supposed to do about? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it. I can understand that they're going to get it from both sides,
right?
Because they are of a mixed ethnicity. I totally get that.
Right.
But I don't even use the N word. He used the N word.
Right.
So you consider yourself black, brother?
Yeah, that's what I kept saying. I said, you don't consider, remember I asked him, you don't consider yourself, or you're not wanted? He was like, no, I'm mulatto. No, I'm mulatto.
Because he wants he wants the positives from the whites and he wants the positive stuff from the blacks, but he don't want the negative from either
one. That's right.
And he was putting himself above
black and white.
Yeah, right. Saying, and in like y'all they were saying all of his arguments about mulatto was from a black perspective.
Right, which was wild.
This in the black community. This in the black community. It's like, then you're not even talking about the white community. You only talking about the black community, bro.
It was like, bro, you don't even understand what you're saying. And then when I looked at Tyranny, I was like, please don't say you regret.
Don't say that, man.
Didn't you hear me say, please don't say that?
Yeah, I heard you. Yeah, don't say it. Don't say it.
Like, I can't, you can't. And if you did say it, because she did say it,
yeah,
I was like, wow. So that's
I would never. I don't care if me and my wife fell out. I'd be like, I wouldn't. No, man. Man.
I was like, no, you can't. Please don't say that. So, with those two, I can't. I don't even know where to start with those two. I don't even know where to start.
It's a mixed bag, and I enjoy having those conversations because it just puts different perspectives out into the world. Even though I don't think everybody's perspective needs to be heard, but I would have never thought people thought like that.
That's why I was sitting there. I was stunned when I was hearing it. When I was hearing it, I was like, what the hell? what the hell did I stumble onto? Who the hell is this person?
And then he like, I got
Why did he-
3 baby mamas. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, and that was the wild part. What? Wait a
I'm
minute,
like, are
they
you
all live
trolling right
together?
now?
I was like, they all live together? Wait a minute, hold up.
Yeah.
Is that
And
what
he
it is?
moved them to Puerto Rico because it's the mulatto
Mulatto
Wakanda.
capital. What the hell?
He's
So
like,
I was
educate
like,
yourself,
look,
brother.
look, you don't know, you don't even know what to address first.
I don't even know.
Like you like, and then when she said what she said, I was like,
It's just a mess, man.
ah.
But I didn't like. I was like,
Yeah, but I wanted
to come to bat for.
I believe that what she said, 100%. The minute she said, "I'm black," you my sister. I don't look at that shit. I don't look at that at all. I don't look at you being mixed at all. When you say what you are, I walk. That's what I run with. Period.
And honestly, it is a socially constructed thing when you're dealing with something like that, because how many white people we say, oh, you invited to the cookout,
right?
Because they got a certain haircut, or they could play the freaking saxophone or dance or something like that, Justin Timberlake or something like that. When these people they come up in a Hollywood culture, surrounded and mixed and mingled, but they don't come up from a black culture.
Right.
Their music is popular amongst a portion of the black culture, but they don't have that experience. But we go ahead and give them the green light. But then somebody who has legitimate DNA from black people in them,
right? If
they don't act black, then you say you ain't black. So it's a socially constructed thing.
It's
and then
it's a lot.
If you look like this, you're supposed to be less black than this. And if you like it don't make sense.
And it's like, I don't understand how y'all, when somebody tell you they black, they got one drop black, why y'all get to tripping about, oh, I'm mulatto, I'm this, that, and the wait, whoa.
Yeah.
You're black.
Yeah. And it's a huge difference from being a black person to being a black person to having a black experience.
Right.
You can have both. You can have one or the other. Right. There's white people who live a black experience.
Right.
But they're not black, but they live a black experience because they're surrounded by black people.
Right. And I mean, I if it's whatever makes your life valid, you validate however you want to validate. I'm going to take you at your word. That's why I don't push back on the pan mulattoism.
Yeah.
It's like, because the picture also makes it a mystery, not being able to see
exactly.
Why you don't want nobody to see? Why you don't want nobody to see you? Right.
Yeah, that's why I come up, because I want you to see my face, because anything I say, I mean it. The same me you see on the panel is the same me you're gonna get if you and me go out or hanging out, or I bump into you. It's the same me.
And my thing is this: why you don't never show your face at all? I think I've seen him before on one of the other panel. He never comes out behind his screen. But you got all these claims, and you could just be making these claims.
Yeah,
and we don't know.
It's the internet. It's the internet. I could be lying about what I literally just said.
Right.
But the more time I spend up here, you're gonna see I'm like, oh, that's just my reality.
Right. And it's
man. No, I grew up in the hood, but I wasn't ghetto.
Right. I grew up in the hood and I wasn't ghetto either.
I have a black experience, but my black experience is not a ghetto experience.
Right.
I grew up middle class. Everybody I knew had their dad.
Right. Everybody in my family knew. I knew everybody around me had their dad.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. And they'd be like, oh, black father's not there. All the black, I could run off a list of all the black fathers that I know of people was in their life.
Right.
And it was Mr. This, Mr. That, Mr. This, Mr. That, Mr. That. It wasn't Joe or Dave or nothing,
And we knew the same thing with me. Same thing with me. I knew we knew all the dads and the moms, all of them. They were all married. They all lived on the same block with me. I lived on a long block, and I could go around the block and say, Mr. Johnson. They go Petey's father. They go Mr. Alexander. They go Mr. Robinson. I knew all of them. And when
I knew where their mom worked. I knew where their dad worked.
Right,
and you go into that house, you better address them. You're not just going to walk up in their house.
Right.
And be just in their house.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
hey, Mr. Harris, how you doing? Yeah. Come on,
We've
man.
had black, we have black experiences. We just haven't had the black experiences that you all have. And I
Yeah.
wanted to validate with that Raquel. Raquel says she's black. She's had a specific black experience. She had
Yeah.
a father. So she's had a specific black experience, not as deep or in-depth as mine, because I've had a black mother, but she's had one as well. So I came
Let me
on
go
her
get this bacon
panel.
out.
So I came on her panel to say, hey, your experience is just as valid. Even though you're raised by a woman that's white, German, you still have had a black experience because your father made you have that experience. He put that in you. He made you assume, made that assumption. Are you going to be black, or are you going to be mixed, or how do you want to perceive yourself, get yourself perceived? And then I wanted her to be validated with that. Oh no, I don't question at all. I reiterate, I do not question her at all, and I'm never going to question that. When I hear people on panels say, oh, she ain't black, she's mixed, she got it. No, I don't look at that. I don't look at that at all. I look at that person. You've had a black experience too,
Yeah.
because one of your parents is black. It is what it is.
It's a huge difference from being black to having a black experience. And
Right.
that, I'm talking about black people.
Right.
Yeah, because somebody could be as dark as this right here. And I'm not talking about them speaking proper or speaking white or anything like that, because I don't get down with all of that nonsense. But if they didn't grow up with a stereotypical black experience, they weren't surrounded by other black people, they might not know certain colloquialisms, certain slang, certain different things. They don't know how to do the electric slide. They don't, it's there's certain things they don't know, and that's just cultural.
That's why I have a difficult time with the FBA and the ABA and all that other stuff. I have a difficult time with that, because I get it. I do. You want to distinguish, but why would we want to why? Because then you're gonna go on the color, and then you're gonna go on the whether they mama or daddy and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, this is just
I kind of like I remember talking to Raquel about that actually, because she was talking about how FBA needed to do it. And I'm like, I think that's just another way for us to segregate ourselves.
Right. I just
like I don't like, oh, you foundational black American. Then what's the difference? Because we talking about these other people, they don't really get down with us coming over. Yeah, I get that.
Right.
But because they do it, why are we doing it again?
Right.
Because if they're coming over from Africa or whatever like that, and they don't consider themselves black Americans, why do we have to also go and say, you ain't black? No, I see you black. Now, and I was thinking about this. I wanted to actually email you, HQ, because I wanted to have this discussion.
No, I was just thinking that in my head. Let me put that on the thumbnail for tonight. Maybe we can have that FBA.
Well, I wanted to come from both perspectives.
FBA. I don't even know that.
From a white perspective, right? How we view white people. You could be Italian. You could be.
What could it be? What could the title be for what could the title of the show be? Could it be? What could a title be for that?
I don't know. It's just people like if you can claim white or say you white, but you could be a total different ethnicity from the other person, have a totally different culture. But it's acceptable for them to say, I'm white. I'm white. I'm Italian, but I'm white. I'm German, I'm white. I'm Irish, I'm white. But if you black, if somebody else is Nigerian and come over or Ghanaian and come over, they don't feel like they black. But the white people accept it, but the black people don't accept it. And then there's also other people say, well, you're not black because you're not American. So it's all convoluted. It's all like mixed in. It's just decided. I think it's all designed just to keep us going at each other and separated.
So if we
versus just being around the people that you have moral and all that other stuff related.
So pro-black show 2. Pro-black show again. Let's have a pro-black.
Well, we still didn't touch on a lot of those other questions for the pro-black topic.
Then let's do that tonight, because SBC, I'm not sure we have SBC tonight. I'm not sure. I got to contact Gavin them and find out if they don't, because I had a show tonight just before that, but it was going to be quick. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to find out, because I could have sworn he said we're not going to be there. I got to look at their channel and see if we got a live going on tonight. If we don't have a live going on tonight with them, I'm going to put a pro-black 2 banner, and then we're going to have a pro-black 2 discussion tonight.
See, even look what Rainbow said. White is a race. Italian, German, etc. are nationalities with associated cultures.
Okay.
So is
Let me
black
put that back
is
on.
black a race? But those people still say, when we talk about white people, and think about this, as soon as we see white skin, that's a white person.
Right.
We don't say, look at that Italian person, look at that German person, look at that Scottish person. We don't say that. We just say these white people.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
It's an all-encompassing thing.
And it's like people don't.
But when we get to our side, we separate.
Right. And it don't even make no damn sense.
It don't make sense.
Because I was like, wait a minute. I don't separate. If you say you got a drop of black blood and you say you black, I don't care where you came from. You black to me because you said that's what you are. And I'm going to accept you for what you are.
Because we'll say all of them have white privilege, right?
Right. Right.
We'll say that. You got white privilege. We'll say all of that to all of them. But then when you get to us, well, we don't have privilege because we went, our ancestors went through so many different things in this country. We're foundational Black Americans, yada, yada, yada. You coming over here from somewhere else, taking this opportunities from us. So you this and that. And it's like, oh man, it's just so confusing. It's just because everybody thinks a little bit different about this whole thing than the next person. And it's like, man, you can't even really have the conversation because there's no foundation from what people actually believe. It's all little different things, nitpicking and doing all that stuff.
This is a wild topic because
and most of us do, Trill.
People like, this is a wild topic because people get upset. You're just gonna have Pan.
I know.
I mean, but see, the conversation got to be had. It's a conversation that got to be had because this foundational this foundational that. I'm like, y'all, we already oppressed in certain ways. We already. Hold on. Look.
The Nissan, what are we riding around in the Nissan?
Yeah, that's a Porsche or something, right?
The new Porsche. What you got me up there for? That might be a new Porsche.
A Porsche. So I'm saying I'm gonna put that on the thumbnail tonight. Pro Black. Let's see what they say. Of course, you're gonna get.
You got me up here in my old stretched out freaking workout shirt.
Hey, that's the way your stuff is, but that's the way it is. I'm gonna put that on the thumbnail tonight. We're gonna have this conversation. You might need Fatty too. I don't know. Fatty was sick last night, so he was sick. But I'll tag him in it. I'll tag him in it, and I'll tag Will because Will is wild too. I had to tag Will in it too. So I will do that tonight, and then I will put it up tonight in a minute.
And watch the progression and the rabbit holes of the conversation, how it goes. Because
I don't have no frame of reference because I only got the black frame of reference. I can't talk to somebody who's mixed and tell them that their experience is invalid. I can't Pan American. I can't look at him and say you're fucked up. You know what I mean? I can't say that because I'm not mixed. I can't say that. I can only come from my perspective. He's coming from two different.
I don't know where he's coming from.
Yeah.
But in order to have a successful discussion and dialogue, we need a focus point though.
Okay.
Like what is the key question that we're trying to ask, or what's the base of what we're trying to get to?
You don't come up with that question. You come up with that.
I gotta come up with it.
Because you're more equipped than me because I'm black. I don't know what the experience. You know what I'm saying?
Black too, HQ.
Yeah, but you have a spouse and you have children. You have thought about ways in which the world is going to affect them, right?
Yeah, we all do though.
Yeah, but I don't think about ways in which white people affect me or I affect other people. I just live as a black person.
And you know what? My parents never had race discussions with me.
Okay.
They never said, hey, you need to be more this because you black going out into the world. It was just, you need to do your best. They never really had racial discussions with me.
Yeah, my
And I
parents.
grew up at my neighborhood, predominantly black neighborhood, middle to upper middle class. But the school I went to was vastly diverse. A lot of black, a lot of Latino, white, some Asian, and Native. You know, and there's a lot of disabled kids went to my school. It's like a specialty school too. A lot of ramps and all that stuff for them. So it was all integrated. So all your friends was all everything. So you were cool with the people you were cool with, regardless of anything else.
Right.
And then it wasn't until you got older where other stuff started to be, pressed upon you, and you're like, oh, really? Word? That's how I'm supposed to think. Like, why? But that, Gregory over there, the white boy right there, he is so different than me, but we cool.
Right.
We love Power Rangers. Like, it's as simple as that. But when you get out into the real world is going to start putting different pressures on you. And it's your choice whether you want to either push back on those pressures or accept them. Okay. Or fall under them, honestly. And then every issue that you talk about is a race issue. No matter what you saying, it's like, oh, it's because I'm black.
Why is that?
Like, oh my God. Like, I don't want to keep getting on the sister tyranny, but she said something about when she's pulled over, it's because she's dark skinned. And I'm like, I don't think that's true. I don't think I've seen more colorism from black people than anybody else.
Right.
Than anybody, and other cultures have it. They definitely have it. If you dark, you typically on the lower social economic level, like India and Asia and stuff like that. But why do we do it to ourselves? We all here together in the same place. Everybody going through the same crap. Right. And I don't know, man. It's like maybe when we watch like these, like when you do the reviews of the police cams and stuff like that, maybe it's because you broke the law or you did something to get pulled over.
Like, wow.
Maybe
it's the reasoning behind it. It's just so wild. It's like, look, my experience in this world is so different. I've experienced having parents. This is something people don't know. I went to all girls school all my life till I was 17. All girls, Catholic school. I wore dresses, white blouses all throughout school. So my parents had enough money where that was the issue. So I never was around boys. So my experience as a black girl is different than a lot of young girls' experiences. I had the protection of the father and all of that. So I had to catch up to how the world actually worked when I went to college, right? And being in having those experiences, with other people. Oh, let's go party. Let's do this, that, and that. But I never joined in that. I never drank. I never smoked. I never joined in any of those things. So did I have a better, or did I have a different experience? Why would I be considered a FBA when I didn't have the same experience as somebody who came from the ghetto, who came from even middle of the road family? I came as a different kid, a kid who never went to school with other kids. I went to school with girls. That's it.
Yeah. A while ago, I don't know if it really caught on, but they used to call them Black descendants of slaves. That's what it was called before, foundational Black Americans.
No, that's still some kind of word, right? Wait a minute, hold on. I need to write this down because I want to put it on thumbnail. You said what? It's called FBA and what?
Foundational Black Americans used to be called the Black descendants of slaves. Because that's when they wanted reparations. They were going for reparations.
What is the other one they call it? Not FBA, NFBA, or what is it called? When you're from Africa but you're here.
Tethers? They call them tethers.
We gonna call them. They're gonna get real mad about that. So we gotta put that stuff on the thumbnail. Now I gotta call. I don't know. Do I want to call?
I don't use that. I don't know what I
don't either,
laugh at the song, but I mean, whatever. It's like I don't know.
Okay, so we gonna put this together this evening. We got
and a lot of issues with people who say
ADOS. ADOS.
ADOS.
It used to be ADOS.
What's ADOS?
American Descendants of Slaves.
American Descendants of Slaves or African Descendants. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Is it African or American?
Probably American.
Okay.
I
We did that.
guess. Yeah, it was something like I knew it was something like that. Black descendants of slaves, something like that. Descendants of slaves. I know
So
it was
we're
that.
gonna put tethers, FBAs, ADOs, Pan Americans, mulattoes. Oh no, I ain't gonna put that on the damn thumbnail. They'll show something. Or American descendants.
Don't put that.
Hell no.
That's invoking the spirit right there.
Yeah. No, we ain't even got to do that because he show up every day now. So he
Yeah.
show up every day.
Where you at? Where you at, Pan?
He gonna show up.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something real quick. It's only gonna take a minute. I'm gonna tell you something real quick.
One quick. Wait a minute. I'll let you talk, and then let me talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Curly Scholar, $2. Hey, HQ supporting the channel. Thank you very much. So I got to get out of here and prepare for tonight. You prepare some questions for tonight, Jay. So I'm gonna put it on thumbnail. This is discussion we're gonna have tonight at 6 p.m. We want everybody there. SBC, whoever shows up, I will tag Tyranny. I don't know, Pan's channel, Raquel's channel, Gihanna's channel. I'll tag everybody.
Raquel ain't trying to have that conversation no more.
Well, she ain't trying to have a conversation with Tyranny. She ain't trying to have a conversation with.
I really want to have a conversation with Tyranny where I can break down and I want to say break her down.
No. You know who you really needed to have a conversation with was that other lady. I forgot her name.
Who, Flora?
No. Was it Crystal? Christine? She was on SBA. She was the one who had to fight with Raquel. Christina.
Oh, Crystal Luna.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started getting on panels right after she.
Yeah. What was it? Because they had a big old fight on SBA one night.
Because they think I don't know their. I want to get through.
That's what I'm saying. She would be the one because she's more like she will be more. You get more out of her.
Mm-hmm.
Tyranny is all emotion.
Because it's saying like you put like, and I don't know if a lot of Black people realize this. When you say white people have these power and stuff, you're inherently putting them above you in a hierarchy. By saying they're getting more opportunities, it's like, no, because in my own personal anecdotal experience, nobody's held me back from other than me from doing the things that I want to do in life. Absolutely. If I don't hand in assignments on time, if I don't work as hard, am I saying that this stuff doesn't happen? Absolutely not. Right. Absolutely not. But in America, as Black people, we can carve our own way.
You're right.
Don't get in your own way and carve your own way. And don't give people an excuse to do things to you, like getting involved in the court system.
Right. Jay, read Curly Scholar. What she want us to do? The last one.
Conversation with Black America.
Man, Curly. That's a conversation between two men. That ain't a conversation between me and him.
And this is an attractive sister right here, the Curly Scholar. He would say she's not attractive.
I know.
And I'd be like, yo, he's like, yeah, Jay, you like the African stuff. Like, first of all, I'm attracted to beauty in women, and I see beauty across the spectrum of beauty.
Yes.
That's why I was so adamant about that conversation with you, HQ, about Kevin Samuels.
Right. But I still look, he called me ugly. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, he didn't. Look at your HQ. Look at your smile.
Yeah, but I can't argue with him. I can't argue with him. He's gone. But we got one person on here.
Yeah, I'm here.
No. I'm saying with Black America, the way Black America feels. I was shocked when I said and Zeus. Remember Zeus? Zeus said that?
I don't remember Zeus saying it.
Yeah, remember?
I don't remember Zeus. I honestly don't remember Zeus saying it.
You was on the panel and he said you were on the panel and he said dark-skinned sisters are not pretty or something like that.
Oh,
wasn't that you?
I don't remember that. Honestly, I wish I did. I don't remember that. I just remember Black America saying that. And I'm like, man,
he said that.
I'm gonna have to pull up a whole screen and make a collage of Afrocentric, beautiful Black women with Black.
And then we gonna put that on tonight. But see, the thing is, also he said that, and I was like, wait a minute, do we got a whole?
You're not African, but you Black, you brown skin, Curly. That's what I'm saying. You don't have a small, skinny, pointy nose and all that other stuff. And that's why I put that other picture up here for you, HQ, where that one girl was changing all her features and doing all the contouring to make everything skinny and thin. It's like, why are you doing that? The man that wants you is going to want you in your natural beauty. That don't mean you need to be unkept.
Right. Right.
Clear skin is still beautiful.
Right.
Bright eyes and bright, clear, clean teeth and a nice smile is still beautiful. Right? I don't care if you got a wide nose. Symmetry is
messy.
Symmetry is beautiful.
I ain't being messy. How am I being messy and lying about what? I would love to hear Taylor's about what? What do you mean? I didn't say. What do you mean being messy? Zeus said that. We were on a panel and Zeus said he's not. He either said he's not attracted to dark-skinned women or he don't find dark-skinned women attractive. And we all said, whoa, Zeus.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, it's fine if you say you're not attracted to dark-skinned women. Fair enough, because everybody's not attracted to everybody.
I can't remember what he said. They're attractive.
Black say the women is, he say the women is straight up ugly. That's what he say. So it's like, bro, I can't get down with you on that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, we want them to.
And I'm not even married to a black woman.
I know, it's just wild.
That's egregious.
I know.
I would have.
But you can't push back.
I would have if a woman, if that woman was around when I was ready to settle down. I settled down with the person who aligned with me in that point in my life when I was ready to.
There you go.
You know what I mean? That's and you love that person and you're like, yeah, let's do this life thing together.
To hear what did he say? Because that was Zeus. Triple X is the person that we got to ask. It was Triple X. I could have sworn it was one of y'all on the stage. You at Triple X was on the stage because I know it was because I know he said, whoa, 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 whoa. All of us on the stage said, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
Did you just say what I think you said?
Okay, yes. Maybe I wish I remembered it better. I remember Black America saying what he said, but I don't remember what Zeus said, honestly.
Oh yeah, it was Zeus. It was definitely Zeus.
I'm gonna read real quick.
I remember that. So anyway, we're gonna put all this on the thumbnail. You come up with some shit, I come up with shit, and then we do.
I want to see I just want to address one thing.
Yeah.
Darkstar said, I think they see Raquel and get triggered because they have been traumatized by colorism, but that's not her fault.
That's right.
And that's a good question for tonight too. Is it colorism? And I'm not saying anything about the people I'm about to say this about. I'm just posing the question.
Colorism?
Is it colorism, attitude, or attractiveness?
Attitude or attractive.
Because what I used to think when I used to see darker skinned girls, they weren't attractive. Those individual girls, they just weren't an attractive dark skinned girl.
Right.
And they'll be like, you don't like me because I'm dark skinned. It's like, is that it? Right. Or is it people just don't find you attractive? Right. Or is that you're abrasive? It has nothing to do with the darkness of your skin.
Or jealousy.
And it could, and it's like, I don't think that's it.
Colorism, attitude,
dark, beautiful women out there.
Wow. Dark skin. That's so beautiful. Look at freaking that chick. What is that chick's? I can't even think. Look at freaking what's her name? The chick who married to the guy just got a divorce. What's her name? Had the 2 kids. The singer, actress. What's her name? She's unusual looking. Black lady. She was married to the basketball player. He got one name or some shit. What the hell is her name? She's a very stunning woman, black African features. Chick, you know, the one who's married to the basketball player, and they just got a divorce, and he was caught with seeing other women and blah blah blah. Not Cardi B. She's an actress and a singer. She sings.
Is she dark skinned?
Yeah, the lady. Damn, she's a beautiful lady, and I think she's a beautiful lady. Fuck, I forgot her name.
Yeah, HQ. This is horrible. I'm like,
he got one name. He's a basketball.
Oh, you talk about what's her name? She was in Coming to America. Tiana Taylor.
Yeah, her.
Yeah.
Those are straight African features. Yeah. Straight African. And she is gorgeous. I don't know where you talking about. She is gorgeous. So I'm saying that's I know bad clues. I couldn't figure out her name. Tiana. Yes, beautiful woman. So okay, so we got all these things we're gonna do tonight. I gotta get it together,
Yeah,
but
she definitely. Yeah, she got. Yeah, big
yeah,
lips, wide
African big
nose.
lips, everything.
I forgot what movie I saw her in first. It was some movie where she was like the love interest or something. I was like, yeah, oh man,
Yeah,
what is going
yeah.
on?
I know, right? I looked at her and like, damn, girl, that whole thing. Did you see the
Yeah,
commercial where she's standing and she turned into the camera, then she started walking off? I was
that
like,
walk too.
damn, girl, go ahead on, sister.
Yeah,
I ain't
yeah,
hating
just her
not one
face, just
bit.
just her features, everything.
And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
all
she.
African, all
Yeah, I'm
African.
looking at her right now. Good,
Yeah,
good, good mugga.
yes,
It's a lot of
all
them too, man.
right. So when you say all African, oh hell no, Black America. No, it's some
It's it's
gorgeous.
it's a ton.
Yes,
It's a ton, man.
right.
A ton.
But
That's just
they gonna show up tonight. Hopefully they show up tonight. It's gonna be at 6:00. I'm gonna put it at 6:00. I'm gonna put the thumbnail down. On the thumbnail, I'm gonna say all welcome tethers, FBA, ADS. I know, right? We gonna talk about this black thing. I know they gonna
I
be
think I might have to put a blazer on tonight. A collared shirt.
He said, who want to play a game of charades with HQ? I know, right? I know.
That chick that was married.
Don't
Like,
be
that
don't
chick
be
that
no
was
hate.
married.
Tonight we're gonna have this pro discussion. We're gonna
You
have the
said she
pro.
was a singer? Is she a singer?
Yeah, she a singer. I love that fucking song she made. That chick, that's a badass song.
I only know her as an actor.
She's singer. She's a singer. What's she saying? I forgot that damn name of that song. I love that song. Hear it. Can you hear this? Okay, can you?
You better not play that on there. I'll look it up. I don't know if people consider Kelly Rowland to be dark skinned, but
Yeah,
love me some Kelly
it's
Rowland. And she aging like wine.
Can you hear her? Can
Huh?
you hear that?
I'll listen. I'll listen later.
I'm
I'll
sorry.
look it up.
Hold on. Hold on.
Kelly Rowland. I'm looking at Kelly Rowland right now.
Hold on.
Oh,
Hold on. I'm wilding. I'm tripping. Wait a minute. I
And
can't.
I'm not talking about people's personalities. I'm not talking about what they do in life. I'm just simply talking about the way they look and the features that they have.
This is.
And I think some of us, there's a lot of us that have the same complaint about Black women, but it comes from two different perspectives. There's a community of Black men who want to get down on Black women for, oh, you got weaves and wear all this other nonsense, right? And they come at it from that perspective. But then from like me, I know I don't have that hate. I just appreciate seeing Black women in their natural beauty. And I would rather them look more natural than not. So it's the guys that's coming at it saying you don't need to do this because they're hating on it, they laugh and all this stuff. And I'm just coming from I would want you to love yourself for the natural way that you look. And I know, like you said, HQ, most Black women wear weaves and wigs and do.
Wait a minute, is that Mr. Walker in here? Is Mr. Walker in here? Mr. Walker, do you all have a show tonight? Because I wasn't sure. I thought I heard Gavin say there was no show. If you in here, please let me know whether you guys having a show tonight.
They used to call him Slick Willie.
I mean, no what? Yes, he was. Mr. Walker was in here. This is his chat.
No, Rain might be saying no, there's no show, or
okay, because there it is right here. Mr. Walker was in here like 2 minutes ago. Is he still in here? Okay, I don't know. Somebody find out if Mr. Walker still have a show. We can, cause I don't think they do. Or does that mean that no, there's no show?
So bottom line, what HQ is trying to tell all y'all women: find a good man and acquiesce to what he desires. That's what HQ said this whole life.
Stop it.
Anybody watching now, that's what HQ said this whole life. Acquiesce to a good man's desires and needs, and he will provide for you and protect you.
That's not what I'm saying. Get off my stage. We got to get this together tonight. Did you hear her singing? Did you hear her singing, Jay? Okay. No, I meant to ask Jay, did he hear her singing? Did we hear her singing?
I know that you.
Yeah, that's her. That's my favorite song by Tiana Taylor. It's Gonna Love Me. It's called Gonna Love Me. I will see you all tonight. I will see you all tonight. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for the super chats. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.